This morning, as I'm studying my Sabbath school lesson, I read a quotation from a modern translation that appears to lose a lot of the meaning that's found in the passage contextually. I call your attention to Ephesians chapter 2, verse number 14. In the King James Version, it says, blotting out the handwriting of ordinances that was against us, which was contrary to us, and took it out of the way, nailing it to his cross. That's King James. Notice the asterisk here. This is handwriting. It has to do with choreography or hand calligraphy. Handwriting. It's a noun. Handwriting. What one has written by his own hand. What was written by hand? Ordinances. The word ordinances comes from dogma, meaning doctrine, decree, ordinances of public decree of the Roman Senate of rulers, the rules and requirements of the law of Moses, carrying a suggestion of severity and of threatened judgment of certain decrees of the apostles relative to right living. Blotting out of the handwriting of ordinances is not just handwriting. It's not just an IOU. This is the blotting out of those dogmas, those ordinances, those decrees, those teachings. In this case, I believe the context is clear that it's the law of Moses. We read on down, and I summarize. So what was blotted out? Was it simply our sins? Verse number 16 uses the word therefore, which ties the previous verses together with the following verses. So the handwriting of ordinances that was nailed to the cross, the dogma, the teaching that was nailed to the cross, and the related holy ceremonial days, which were a shadow of what was to come in Jesus. You read verse 15, verse 16, and we see that it's talking about those ceremonial holy days, those ceremonial foods on the feast days. Yes, that's what was nailed to the cross. And yes, our sins were paid for at the cross. That is, they are forgiven when we confess them, and He is faithful and just to forgive them. He met the demands of the law, the legal demands of the law, and revealed the character of God, the moral silencing the accusations of the evil one. Review. Therefore, the previous verses talking about nailing the dogmas, the ordinances, the teachings of Moses, which were handwritten, nailed to the cross. Jesus paid for our sins at the cross. That is, it was a costly sacrifice. Did He pay the Father? No. Did He pay the devil? No. Who did He pay? The Apostle Paul says the wages of sin is death. Sin is the employer, and sin demands death. Jesus paid the demands of sin, and in so doing, He answered the questions about the character of God and resolved the moral dilemma over the trustworthiness of God. I hope this is helpful in some way. Please consider it as you read today's lesson. This is Monday's lesson.